I will put those grades on Skyward, and Skyward will be your grade for this class, not Canvas. The grade on Canvas is wrong. Only the grade on Skyward matters. Can of Coke, what do you think? Is it going to float, go up, or sink if I put it in water?
It is.
You think it'll sink?
Yeah.
You were right, Coke sinks. A Diet Coke floats. They have different chemicals. Sugar. Coke has more sugar. Diet Coke, less sugar. So they have different densities. And density is why something floats or sinks. I will tell you why density is so important in just a minute. Here we have three things. We have a box of Cheerios cereal, and each box of Cheerios weighs about 1/3 of a kilogram. So it takes 3 boxes of Cheerios to equal 1 kilogram. And look how much space or volume those boxes take up. Now, if I have quarters, 3 rolls of quarters, $30, that also weighs 1 kilogram if I put it in my hand. But it takes up not very much space, much smaller. And the tiny one here, that is a brick of gold, very expensive. Gold is dense. It does not take up much space, but it is heavy, has a lot of mass. And so it also weighs 1 kilogram. All of those are equal. 1 gold, 3 quarters, 3 cereal. All the same mass, 1 kilogram. So this is called density. And density is how much mass compared to how much volume. So they can have the same size, same volume, same shape, but this one is going to have more mass, heavier, more grams. Liquids can have different densities. Regular water has 1 density, and salt water, like the ocean, has a different density. The heavy one, salt water, is more dense. It sinks to the bottom. And the light tap water floats to the top. We can stack lots of liquids. You know, honey tastes good. It's sweet. Honey is really thick and gooey. Corn syrup, also thick and gooey, and it sits on top. And notice these are more than 1. Water, the red one, is 1. That's its density. So if these are more than 1, they sink. And if it is less than 1, oil, it floats on top of the water. This is made of iron. Iron is an important element. We also find it in the earth. And iron is heavy, and it goes all the way to the bottom. Guess what's in the middle of the earth? The same thing, iron. And then we have kind of a gooey layer of earth in the middle. And guess what's on the outside of the earth? Air. What we breathe. We call it the atmosphere. And the air is very light, so it floats. And so air is on the top. What's inside of a ping pong ball? Air, the same thing. So, really, density is important because it's just like the earth, the layers. In fact, we say, why does the earth have layers? And the answer is density. Density. Different layers have different densities. Here is the iron in the middle of the earth, and more iron on the outside. Here is the gooey stuff. And where we live is very thin, almost like an eggshell or a peel on an apple. And we call it the crust, just like the edge of a pizza is the crust. And the crust is light. It's made of light stuff, element called silicone. And you've heard of oxygen. Silicone and oxygen make up most of the rocks on the crust. So we think rocks are heavy, right? The ground is heavy and rocks are heavy, but the stuff inside the earth is more heavy, more dense. And then it's very thin, but around the earth, we also have air, our atmosphere. And then space. In space, nothing, no matter, no solids, no liquids, no gas. And it is our gravity which holds all of these layers together toward the middle. Density. Why we have layers. Next week, we're going to talk a lot more about the layers of the earth. We're going to know everything about Earth and its layers.